What's up, guys? It's me, Rivah. I'm back again with another video. If you're new here, my name is Rivah. I'm here to give you guys my reaction to this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I'm going to go ahead and let this video play, and then I will give you guys my feedback afterwards. This was actually sent to me by a subscriber, and I have not watched this video, so I have no idea what this conversation is going to be about. But I'm going to press play, and then we'll watch it together.
Like going off of compatibility just by itself can be a trap. Because first off, you can be compatible with a demon. Like devils know what you like too. The type of women that you like, you want her to have more curves in the highway. The type of man that you like, you want him tall with broad shoulders and a beard. The enemy can send you pain gift wrapped as your preference. So that's just the first thing about how compatibility can be a trap. The second thing is compatibility is season based. It is possible for you to be compatible with the season of their struggle, but not the season of their success. I want somebody who's going to be there for me if I hit rock bottom. Well, what if they can only handle your rock bottom, but they can't handle your upward season? So now the question becomes, are we really compatible? Or do we just share similar dysfunction? We're both broken in the same area. We're both wounded over the same things. We have the same feelings over the same wounds, so we end up sharing hearts. But what happens if one of you heals and the other one doesn't? Because just because you heal doesn't mean that they're going to heal. And just because you heal doesn't mean that you can make them heal. What happens if one of you heal? You will remove what y'all have in common. And I want us to be so whole and so secure that when we heal, we don't end up feeling guilty because they're crawling, but we now have wings. It's not just about compatibility. It's about suitability. Does this individual suit my assignment well? Do they complement what it is that God has me doing in earth while I'm here in time? When a man or a woman has found that, that's a blessing. Because when God gives a blessing, you're not going to have to exchange your mental health as payment to keep it. So maybe you're so exhausted because you're breastfeeding toxicity in order to maintain an image of being happy over the very, like going off of
Hold up. Let me gather myself. A whole word. Like, we could just play this over and over and over again. You know, like a whole... This is, first of all, I love this. I love everything. I agree with everything that he had to say. I love everything that this man has said in this video. Every single bit of it. There's so many people who get into relationships or not even in relationships. So many people who start dating somebody. And, you know, the girl will go around her friends and be like, oh, you know, I don't really get them butterflies like how I like. And like, he was cool and everything. And he seems like he would be a good husband. And he seems like he would be a good fit or a good match. But, you know, I don't really know because there's just something that's missing. And it's like, yeah, he's not toxic like you're used to. There's women who call men boring. Oh, I didn't really like him because he seemed kind of boring. And it's like, no, he's actually not boring. What it really is that he's stable in his mind. He's emotionally mature. He's evolved. He's grown. He's a grown man. He's not a little boy playing games unsure of, oh, I feel like he's coming on a little bit too strong. No, he's just sure of what he wants and he's not trying to waste no time. So if you're not the one who wants to be with him, then you could just move to the left. I love what he says about getting with somebody who can handle you when you're struggling. But when you start to grow, you start to realize some change within that person or the changes in your relationship. Because I did a whole live stream about this. Sis, are you really jealous of your man? Because, of course, I'm a woman, right? So I target my conversations to the woman. Having, I do definitely hold both people accountable. But I definitely am speaking to, as a woman, I'm speaking to women, right? So that's why you guys hear me saying, like, to a woman. But, there's so many times that in relationships, there's somebody who is, you're so in love with when you guys are broke, or when y'all struggling, or when you're trying to figure things out. But when you click on to something and now you're progressing in your life, now they start to kind of look at you sideways. Why you acting like you better than everybody? Why you acting like you this? Or why you showing off so much? Because they could only handle when they felt like you were beneath them. But when they feel like there's a possibility that you're going to grow to your highest potential, and they're not ready to do that for themselves yet, or they don't have their life figured out yet, or who they are figured out, now they look at you with envy. And this is the same person who loved you so much and who was so into you. I also love when he said the whole segment about when you get with somebody off of compatibility, you could be mixed up with the wrong soul, ultimately. Right? Like, you guys are super compatible in the bedroom. You're super compatible, like, looks wise. This is the same look that you wanted, but on the inside, you guys are unbalanced, unequally yoked. Trying to make it work for the visual, or trying to make it work for, again, the intimacy. So when you go through ebbs and flows of relationships that are everybody has going to go through, like, you can't surpass ebbs and flows in relationships. But when you actually do go through those things, it's going to be hard for that person to, hold on with you, because they weren't with you for that. How can I hold you down, or how can I be with you through the fire when I only was with you for intimacy? I didn't even think you're that funny. Like, I would just be fake laughing all the time. Just be like, hee hee, just because I know what's coming later on in the evening. But if we were going to be really honest, I didn't really like you like that. So for me to now have to, quote unquote, hold you down, stand firm with you, that's not what I necessarily signed up for. So of course we're going to have problems. Of course we're going to have toxic situations. Of course we're going to have the drama and the pain and the hurt, because our foundation wasn't right. And that's why I always speak to, different forms of relationships. There are people who are definitely in transactional relationships, and they're both aware of that. There are people who are in relationships because they genuinely just have this, deep connection. Their soul loves each other and they love each other. There are people who are connected because they have a greater purpose that they're both aligned with, and that is what's going to keep them together. And all of these different relationships are necessary. Why? Because love alone is not enough. It's not. You can love somebody and still leave them. Definitely. I love you, but I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me. I love you, but I can't deal with the fact that, you're treating me this way. I love you, but I love myself more, and I have to take myself out of this situation. But when you guys are both connected to a purpose, a dream, a vision, a plan, I love you. I can't stand you right now, but we got some stuff to handle. So we're going to work this out and figure these things out together. Because we have to be a team to get to the goal. Another hard truth that this man mentioned, very hard truth for a lot of people, is when you decide that you want to do the inner work within yourself and your spouse does not want to. Be together 2 years strong, 5 years strong, 7 years strong, however long, right? And everything is good. And then all of a sudden, this person decides that they want to go through maybe a spiritual journey, or maybe they just start to research a lot of things about business, or whatever thing that requires elevation and a different level of themselves, or a higher version of themselves. But the other person was comfortable in being stagnant, comfortable in just believing whatever was fed to them, comfortable in tradition, comfortable in staying the same, comfortable in resonating at a certain level, completely comfortable. And at one time you were comfortable too, and you were okay with that, but now you're not. So now what do? It's going to lead to separation because you are no longer the same. No longer the same. You see, I think people get this twisted. It's very easy for people to drift apart. It's very easy for people to change. It's very easy for people to not want to be together anymore. And it's because the foundations are very wobbly, not firm ground, very insecure foundation, right? Because we're not in a space that I'm actually compromising with everything. You know, a lot of people say like, oh, I love this person exactly how they are. You know, I don't want to change anything about this person. I just want to be exactly with the same person, exactly how they are. And I'm good with that. And they love me for me and I love them for them. Sometimes there's a problem in that. As a woman, I would say. Because you're supposed to be moldable to your spouse. So while your spouse is growing and while you're entrusting your spouse to lead you and guide you, of course, it means that it doesn't mean you're not going to have a say. It doesn't mean that you don't have a voice. It's not what I'm saying at all. But in trusting that this person is always going to guide you and be the leader in the right way is when he's going through different growth, spurts or challenges or evolution, you're going to be right with him going through the same growth, the same evolution. But you see, when there's two people who are kind of living separately, they don't even eat the same foods. You know, my husband doesn't eat, pork, but I do. Or my husband doesn't, drink, but I do. When there's people who are somehow living like together and in a relationship and acting in a relationship, but kind of have very different outlooks on life itself, it's going to be so easy for you guys to drift apart because you're not connected how you should be. You're not on the same exact wavelength at all times. So it's going to be so easy for you guys to separate. And how do you guys get on different wavelengths? Because again, your foundation is incorrect. The connection is off. The spiritual connection is not there. If you guys understand what I'm saying. It has to be that same kindred thing. My husband says this. Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Oh, my husband does this. Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Because once it's like individualism in relationships, I'm not saying you can't be yourself. But when there's that strong separation of the two people, like long-term couples, they be eating the same thing. They have their things that they do in the house. Maybe you're not gonna always hitch up under each other. I'm not saying that either. But if we look at religions, I'm gonna use this for an example. If we look at other cultures, other belief systems, what the husband doesn't eat, nobody in the family eats. Because it's like one band, one sound, one accord. When you don't operate in one band, one sound, one accord, it's easy to break up. Very easy. It's even easy to break up when you are operating like that. Okay? Because it's two people coming together and striving for something. There's going to be growth. There's going to be growing pains in your relationships. There's going to be times that, you are going to, have disagreements or not agree with each other. There's going to be things that happen in life that are very hard to deal with. And can that other person deal with that with you? There's going to be these situations. However, again, it has to be more than just physicality. Physicality alone will lead you right into a pit. Okay, it has to be way deeper than that. That's why I always say, like, even, people can say whatever they want. Like, oh, I got this a lot on Instagram when I ask a lot of questions. I'll say, ask me anything. Or some people will just come on and, they'll flood me with compliments or even in like my DM or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's all well and fine, right? Thanks. But I always pose the question. People can be so beautiful on the outside, but what is their soul looking like? Because that's what we really see when we see each other. Somebody can be as well when we see each other, but when you're on this certain frequency to be able to see that in people. Because I can see a woman that is extremely gorgeous, beautiful, perfect on aesthetically. right? Her eye, because beauty is symmetry. Her eyes are symmetrical. Her nose is perfect, you know, perfect bone structure, amazing physique, and see that she's just nasty on the inside. Heart nasty, just nasty. And you can see somebody who is maybe less attractive to, you know, the naked eye. Most people would deem them as not so attractive, but when you see the inside and you're like, damn, you are just so sweet and so kind and so caring and so nurturing that you're more beautiful than the most beautiful person in the world because of how your soul resonates, because of what is within you shining outside of you. So physicality, that's the least. But in society, you know, that's what people deem to be the most important above everything. And it's not. It's genuinely not. It's genuinely not, especially when it comes to relationships. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I genuinely want to hear all of you guys' thoughts about this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up and hit that post notification bell. I post a video every day, but the time varies. But if you hit that bell, it will notify you when I post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.